Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. If you're all enjoying your day, sweet. If not, what the hell ever. So, three words are probably familiar with a lot of fans when it comes to their vocabulary. This match sucked. I'm sure a lot of fans have said that about a lot of matches over the years. But I have to ask this question. To everybody who's listening out there, in your opinion, what is the worst wrestling match ever? And it can be, I'm asking, you can say this for any company. It could be WWE, AEW, WCW, ECW, any company you can think of. What is the worst wrestling match you've ever seen? Because I'm going to be talking about mine today. And this is the match, I've seen this once and I never want to ever see it again for a myriad of reasons. The Doomsday Cage match from WCW Uncensored 1996. Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage and the Mega Powers reunited in I think it's like an 8-on-2 handicap match against WCW champion Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Meng, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, the Taskmaster, aka Kevin Sullivan, Z Gangsta, or you may remember him as Zeus, and the Ultimate Solution, originally known as the Final Solution, before WCW realized, oh wait, that's a Holocaust reference, we can't do that, in this Doomsday Cage match, 8-on-2 handicap match. So this match was a multi-tier steel cage with different formation and everything that was around and above a ring that was set up over in the entrance area, and the cage was surrounded by the kind of scaffolding that you see around construction zones. It's kind of another way to descend and move around outside of the ring. So each tier of each steel cage was loaded with men from this match. So I believe at the top tier was like Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, then you had a bunch of other people, and other tiers all the way down to the ring. The rules were beyond confusing. As far as I can tell, and some people may correct me on this, because like I said, the rules were just beyond confusing and annoying. For the babyface team to win, Hogan and Savage, they had to get through all the members of, the other team, which was pretty much like the Alliance and Hulkamania. I mean, that just screams cartoonish name. Get to the ring that's in the bottom cage, get the decision in that ring, and then escape the cage to win. And then for any of the members of the Alliance and Hulkamania to win, they just have to beat either member of the team at any point on any level of any cage. Ugh. Yeah, pretty complex there. So it's just like, you look at this cage, it is very wire mesh, almost like what you see at a fence. If you don't see it from the camera angles and everything that you would see live on the pay-per-view, you can't really tell what's going on, especially if you're in the crowd, because it's just like your vision is just so obscure because of how this thing is designed. You have like trap doors through the floors and ceilings. You had ones through almost like vertical walls through one other tier of the cage with a door in there. You had doors going to the outside. You had guys just fighting everything and trying to stop each other from getting in and out of other tiers of the cage, like through doors and trap doors and all that shit. At some point, you had them going up and down different parts of the scaffolding, trying not to fall off. And I don't mean the kind of scaffolding you would see above the ring for those old school scaffolding matches for Jim Crockett Promotions and all that shit. But it's just they're fighting down. It's just slow action. The next thing you know, they're trying to fight in the ring, but then they get out of the cage in the ring and start brawling around the ring in the middle of the arena, which that brawl just felt like it took forever. It's just hey, this match is over 25 minutes. We got a lot of time to kill on this pay-per-view. Let's just waste time brawling around the main ring, which is just oh my god, I could take 10 shits, and it still would take far less time than this brawling took around the ringside. Okay? The Undertaker's entrance was shorter than this brawl. Eventually, in this match, I gotta mention, there's no disqualification, no count-out. As soon as they finally get everybody else back, into the ring and everything, they finally get back to the ring with the cage. And they're brawling inside the ring. And the Booty Man, a.k.a. Brutus Barber Beefcake, the man with no name, the Zodiac, whatever many gimmicks he goes under, he decides to sneak in some frying pans and leaves so that Hogan and Savage have weapons. But it's just dude, it's no disqualification. Help your buddies out. It's an 8-on-2 disadvantage. But no, he doesn't. So Hogan and Savage, they're just swinging frying pans, ding, 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 to everybody's heads to try to knock people out. And then you get to the finish. Oh my god. It was so bad. So, we're down to like, the main active people at this point for the finish are Luger, Savage, and Flair. Like I said, Flair is the world champion. He's holding Savage back, like arms behind him, like kind of like a double chicken wing. And Luger, he's supposed to be putting on a quote-unquote loaded glove, which is like a skin-tight black glove that you could tell there was nothing in there. Nothing to indicate that it was loaded. He's just like slowly putting on this black glove. He's supposed to accidentally hit Flair. Well, he swings. He stops before like even getting right up to Savage. He's like, ah! Like making a screaming noise. But then Savage already dropped, and then Luger still has his eyes on Flair and still has to punch him. So they botched the finish to where it doesn't look like he accidentally hit Flair. It's just like stop and then intentional because they had a whole miscommunication there. You saw what you were doing. You still punched Flair, and you've just knocked out the world champion with a quote-unquote loaded glove. So then after this, Savage and Hogan are just like, screw this, and they're trying to lead the ring. But then they're reminded, oh wait, you gotta get the decision first to finally end this damn match. So Savage like jumps back in the ring, pins Ric Flair, the world champion. And then they both leave and close the door. Hogan and Savage win. So Hogan and Savage win an 8-on-2 handicap disadvantaged Doomsday Cage match with confusing and complex rules. They have a numbers disadvantage and they still ultimately win here. And you bitch out your world champion in the finish with a botched finish that... It's mind-boggling. Think about this. You had 8 men. Flair, Anderson, Mank, Barbarian, Luger, Taskmaster, Z-Gangsta, and Ultimate Solution. You had any other 7 guys outside of Luger that he could have punched to end this match, and yet you do this to your world champion. Your biggest name that you have that's a homegrown talent there around the WCW name, / NWA Jim Crockett Promotions, all that shit. But yeah, you do that to Flair? I mean, I know he gets worse treatment later on as WCW went along before it closed down, but it's just like, this was a terrible treatment of Flair. They botched the finish and it was just a lame one. Oh, I'm putting on a skin-tight black glove. Ah! Punch. Oh, that's it to knock out your world champion. Like, that was... This is honestly the worst match I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of terrible matches. And trust me, when I get to the WWE side one day, I'm going to have an episode talk about bad WWE matches. You're going to hear a lot of names, but I still feel like nothing can compare to this god-awful Doomsday Cage match. Like I said, the rules complex, the action sucked, the crowd couldn't follow what was going on inside the cage because they couldn't see, the finish was botched and you bitched out your world champion. Nothing good came of this match. Because like I said, 8 men couldn't beat 2 men on their own. You could have, like I said, if you Booty Man wanted to get involved, he should have, because again, no disqualification. Yet he just snuck in frying pans and ran away. Help your buddies out. Hogan was the reason why you got into WCW, dude. But anyway, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know of 2 things. Number 1, have you ever seen the Doomsday Cage match? And let me know what you thought about it. And 2, what to you, in your opinion, is the worst wrestling match ever? Like I said, it can be from any company. I don't care what it is. It can be WWE, AEW, anything you want. Just what is the worst wrestling match you've ever seen? Because I never want to see this match ever again for the rest of my life. It sucks. People say it's like the worst main event in pay-per-view history. Not only that, it's the worst match I've ever seen ever. Oh my god. I'd rather see Hogan versus friggin' Warrior from Halloween Havoc 98 again. At least there's some entertainment when Hogan botched the fireball spot, but there was no level of entertainment or storytelling in this one. It was horrible. So anyway, let me know down in the comment section below, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode, please remember, leave a like, subscribe with the bell turned on if you're listening on YouTube, or follow if you're listening to this podcast on any other service that this podcast is available on. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out and good day, everybody. Now I need to go drink a freaking big bottle of beer.